You know what? I love being a Christian. I do. See, when I was younger, being a Christian was a thing that, sometimes felt like a chore. Where I was like, do I have to go to church? Do I really have to pray? I have to return money to a church? Are they not scamming me? Like, you had all these questions when you're younger. And when you get older, you make a decision and you study and you read. And this is where people divide. Around 15 upwards, you see a big shift in people. A lot leave and some stay. And the ones that do stay oftentimes stay for two reasons. Reason one is they are staying because it's what they know. They don't really care about understanding the belief system, but they feel like it's part of their routine, and if they don't go to church or they don't do Christian things, then something doesn't really feel right. It becomes like a habit. The second people that stay because they understand what worship actually is. They take it seriously. And it becomes their, not just their identity, but it becomes who they are on the inside. Everything they are, everything they breathe is not just reactive because they've been raised in it, but it's very proactive. And it's them saying, you know what, I am actively making the choice to... There's a spider right next to me. Maybe I can just... Come on, spider. See, this is the thing about filming in nature. Okay, there you go. Spiders and bees just come everywhere. So anyway, sorry, back to it. So those that stay, they stay because it's not just part of their habit, but it's their identity, and also it's a proactive decision they are making. Proactivity. See, a lot of the people in church, I'm sorry to say, are reactive Christians, right? They are. They are reactive Christians. What that means is that they are Christian because it's convenient and it feels right, and it doesn't really hurt as much. So it's kind of like, it's like riding a bike. You've done it so long that it just feels right. You have a family, your kids go to church, or maybe you are in a family, and if you don't go, there will be questions, so you do go. But really, once you finish church, boom, it's as if you were never Christian. Those are the other group. And the thing is, like, if you are the kind of Christian that is going to church, but there is no evidence that you are a Christian in your day-to-day walk, I'm gonna say it. You are wasting your time. You are absolutely wasting your time. And see, what I'm gonna say is not popular. Is that a branch? Yeah, it is. What I'm gonna say is not representing a particular denomination or a particular group. What I'm gonna say right now is just my thoughts. I'm representing nobody but myself. The disclaimer is out there. But if you are a Christian, but you have a hard time understanding why you should be a Christian, or if someone asks you and says, can you justify why it's important to be a Christian? Why should I stop living the life I live right now and become a Christian like you? If you are unable to explain that, or you are unable to not care enough to show yourself approved unto God, the workman not needing to I'm quoting verses here. Let me calm down. If you are unable to justify why you are a Christian, or you are unable to tell somebody why they should be a Christian, and if you go to church, but it's more for the sake of it being a habit, you are wasting your time. Stop going, save your money, don't give it to the church. God does not need your money. I said it. It's very unpopular. See, when I was younger, I used to ask this question. What is more important? Getting people into the church that, we get bums in the seat, we get people for an hour who are going to sing some hymns, they will sit down and listen to a guy speak for an hour, and they go home? Or is it important to get people into church who actually take it seriously to the point where, like, if you meet them on a Sunday or on a Monday, they're the same person? The same love and care and, on warmth they show you on a Saturday. I go to church on a Saturday. They show on a Tuesday. The kind of people where, like, you see an image of who they are on the day of going to church. And when you see them in the wild, they might not see you. You still see that same image. When nobody's watching, they are the same. What's more important? Filling a church that kind of person, or filling a building or a church with as many bums? See, this is where for me I kind of struggle, because the Bible is like, get as many people in, get them in. It's God who's going to work with them, It's going to be a journey. As long as they come to God as they are, God will receive them. The church will receive them. But then I think about Judas. And the Bible says it was better if he was not even born. But we're meant to bring people into the church. And you might be watching this and you casually go to church. And Jesus is saying to Judas, who was following him, remember that to be in the disciples, the 12, Jesus called them. And yet Jesus is saying about Judas, it would have been better that he was not even born. Yet Jesus created him. Yet Jesus chose him. Yet he followed Jesus. Yet he sat around the other disciples. I sound like I'm preaching, aren't I? I'm not really. But what am I saying? I am saying here is that don't waste your time. Being a Christian is not a joke, right? I think it's important for people to believe in God. I believe in God. I think it's important for people to ask questions and be curious and be inquisitive. That is important. And the thing is, I know it's a journey and we all start somewhere, right? And you don't want to enter into a journey and feel like, okay, you can't backpedal. You can't say no. You can completely change your mind. That's in your right. Jesus says, come as you are. But he never says, stay as you are. And that is why, for me, I am saying you've been in church for a while. You know the truth. You understand it like Judas did. I'm not saying it is better you are not born. No, I'm giving an example of what the Bible said about Judas, because the sin he committed, read the Bible, you will see the sin he committed. Basically, he was one of the main reasons Jesus was on the journey to be crucified. He basically signed that piece of paper, pretty much. There's obviously other people, there's Pilate, there's the crowd, but let's go back a little bit. So, you believe in God, right? You maybe were raised in a Christian element. Don't waste your money by giving it to church, right? A lot of people feel like God is like a transaction. If I give a little money to church, I will feel better on the inside. If I go to church on Christmas and Easter, you know what? It means when I die, I'll make it to heaven, right? Oh, somebody I know used to pray once in a while. They're in heaven right now. I'm not trying to sound insensitive here. I am just trying to say my opinion. Again, I am not speaking on behalf of any denomination, any church, any religious organization. This is just my opinion, right? Don't waste your time and energy in worshiping God if you're going to do it half-heartedly, right? Do you want to waste your entire life believing in God just to end up in hell? See, this is the thing, like, people think, Revelation talks about this. Jesus is going to come back, right? And there will be a lot of people that will say, did we not prophesy in your name? That is a preacher. There will be preachers in hell. And cast out demons. These are healers, people in churches who are able to pray out demons and do all these marvelous works. People who go and donate to charity, people who dedicate time to help people, they will be in hell. And Jesus will say, I never knew you. Depart from me, you that work iniquity. Jesus doesn't care about the specific thing you do. Jesus cares about what's in your heart when you are doing the specific thing you were doing. David killed somebody, right? But in the Bible it says this is a man after my own heart. Judas kissed Jesus. And Jesus said, it would have been better you were not born. Like, it's not about the good things you do. The good things you do not buy you an inch off the ground when Jesus comes. If Jesus comes back and he will take us to heaven, nothing you can do in terms of acts will give you the right to make it to heaven. That is why in the Bible, Revelation, it talks about when Jesus comes back, he will tell people who were preachers, who baptize people, and say, depart from me, you that work iniquity. It's like, I was a preacher. I spent every weekend in church. The amount of money I gave to church. It's not about that. It doesn't matter. Look at the thief on the cross, right? He didn't spend a day in church. That day that thief died, he was promised a seat in paradise. Even though he didn't give as much as you've given. He never preached to anybody. He never cast out demons. It's not about what you do. It's about what is in your heart when you do what you do. When Christians do things, they're not doing things to tick a box. It's not like, okay, I tick a box and that's it. Forget that. No. You are doing that because you are saved. It's a reaction to how much you love God. When you give money to the church, it's not because if I don't give, no. It's about I love God so much I am going to give. Right? If somebody is a preacher, they don't preach because I get a salary. No. They are doing it because they love to serve. And the salary is something that's given to them because they spent all their time serving. What you do when nobody is watching determines what will happen in terms of you making it to heaven. The little acts you think you do now and then mean nothing. You can donate your entire salary until you die and you still won't make it. It's not about that. Don't waste your time. So am I saying you should leave church and never come back? No, I'm not. I want as many people to give their lives to God. I'm a Christian, and I know that that's unpopular, but I'm a Christian. I will say it loud and proud. But if you are somebody that is taking Christianity half-heartedly, understand that you are wasting your time. You are wasting your money by giving it to God. If you give to God and it's not with a willing spirit, are you really giving to God? You have to give with a willing spirit. It is important to give to God, which means that you have to put the work in to have the willing spirit. And you know what? I think this has been a long video. I will end it by saying this, right? The Bible says this. I'm going to give you a contradiction, but I'm going to explain why it's not. The Bible says this. Behold, I come at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice, and opens it, I will come in and receive him, right? So God is saying, hey, I can't enter you. I can't be in your life until you allow me, right? So allow me. I will never push the door into your heart. I will ask you, hey, viewer, can I come into your heart? I really want to. Because the gift I will give you is amazing. The fruits, love, joy, peace, long suffering. There's so many gifts that God gives us. But let's go back a little bit, right? So God is saying, hey, I'm knocking. Can I come in? And you're like, hey, you know what? Yeah, you can come in. You can come in. Good. Now you let God into your heart. But then you're like, wishy-washy. I don't know. Should I really go to church? Oh, I don't really feel like dedicating time to prayer and worship. Then we go into a different verse. And it says, nobody comes to the Father except the Father calls me, draw him. Right? This is Matthew 24, I think. If I'm wrong, I will correct it down below, somewhere there. And it talks about saying, okay, coming to God is not just your decision. It's like the wind. You do not know when it comes and when it goes, but when you see it happening over time, right? So nobody comes to the Father except the Father calls me, draw him. So God is knocking. Hey, I want to come in. Let me in. You open the door. You let him in. But why is he there? How did he get there? Nobody comes. God will not knock on your door unless you ask him to knock on your door. Nobody comes to the Father unless the Father calls me, draw him. So God calls you and says, hey, I want you to be my disciple. Right? And then he comes to your door. Boom, he's there. Okay, I've chosen you, but because I've chosen you, I want you to choose me as well. So I'm going to knock. Hey, I've chosen you. Can you open up? Please? And now it's your turn. And when you open that door, you have two options. Be the kind of Christian that is like, I'm going to be on this journey just to kind of fill it out. Or be the other Christian who is like, this is me. I'm going to open the door and I'm going to let you in. And when I let you in, I want you to let everything else out of me. I want you to fill me in so much that there is nothing but you inside of me. That when others look at you on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday, on a Friday, all they see is God. Not that you are God. That God is oozing out of you. There's so much love and care and kindness that no matter who comes around you, they will tell you. They're like, there's something about you. I will tell you a story about myself to finish this off. This is probably my longest ever video, but it's important. I went to university for 3 years, actually 4 years, 4 years. And when I was studying, I didn't tell my classmates that I was Christian. I never spoke to my classmates about my spiritual journey. And the reason for that was I didn't think it was important to tell them. Because I thought my classroom was a very diverse group of people. Majority atheists, people from different places. It was a university where international students would fly in and come to study. So trying to preach my religion would not work, because I thought that, you know what, there's a better way to minister. Listen to what I'm saying. The best way to minister is to show how much God is inside of you by expressing God out every day. So for 4 years, proactively, I showed kindness, I showed love, I showed willingness to help people. There were some people that were failing, and I would dedicate my time to be like, hey, no one talks to you, come sit with me. And they'll be like, why? You don't know me. I'm like, I see you in class, let me help you. And I would dedicate time, my precious time. Don't forget, I'm also paying for uni, so I'm dedicating my own study time to help somebody else who is not my friend, right? Christian values, right? Things that other people didn't see. Or so I thought. But after 4 years of just being me, trying to exude God as much as I can because I want Him to be in me, I'm saying my door is open. One day, I was in class early. The teacher wasn't in, and a classmate came in. To be fair, I think you're watching this right now, so you know who you are. And he said, "Are you an Adventist?" And I am like, at this point, I'm shocked. Because I'm like, I have never spoken about my religion. They never see what I do in private. Are you a Christian and are you an Adventist? That's the group I belong to. Adventism. I can talk more about that if you want me to. And I said yes. And he says, I thought so. I could tell. And he said, I am an Adventist too. And I felt sad. And I felt humbled at the same time. I felt sad for two reasons. For what is one reason? I felt sad because it was like, I didn't realize that I was wrong. I thought that my group of people, because they were so diverse, I couldn't minister to them. They wouldn't care. But in the group of people that were in my class, my peers, there were some people that actually believed in God and were trying to take it seriously. So I missed a chance. But I was also happy because those people were watching me for 4 years. And after 4 years, they said, I know you're a Christian because I've seen you being consistent for 4 years. There have been parties with alcohol and drugs and you've not taken part. There have been situations where no one wants to help, but you want to help. There have been situations where like you could have been mean to somebody who was being mean to you and you stopped yourself when others were being mean. And they're like, I know you are a Christian because I've seen you show the values of being a Christian. I'm a Christian too, and I'm working on it. Can other people see you when you're not trying to show a particular image? What others say about you when nobody's watching, I'm sorry, that's who you are. What your friends say about you behind your back, that's who you are. I asked my friends recently, and I said, hey, it's gonna sound weird, But when I leave a room, I'm selfish. I think when I leave the room, nobody talks about me. And they don't sometimes because I'm not special. But what do people say about me when I'm not in the room? And you know what? Don't mention who they are. I want you to be honest. And they told me, and it shocked me. Because a lot of the things that I don't say outright, they can see. Even though I don't say certain things outright, in terms of communication, in terms of how I approach stress, I just act. But because I have God in me, and because you have God in you, people will see that. They might not see you in church. They might not see you giving money. But they will see something is different. Remember what I said about Revelation. It's not about what you do. There will be preachers in hell. There will be healers in hell. There will be people that did charity work in hell. God is going to let people go to heaven, not based upon the things they did, but what was in their heart, right? You cannot buy your way into heaven. You cannot do enough good things if your heart is not good. Do you know that Judas did a lot of good? Comment down below what you think. Again, my opinion, not representing denominations or any church. Just my opinion. Thanks for watching. And yeah, comment down below what your thoughts are. Don't waste your time. Which means that take it seriously. And when you go, do it because you love God. Not because, if I don't go, I won't feel right. Nah, don't do that. Go because you love God. And you're going for a purpose. See you next time.